The Post Newspaper Podcast, your community news. In this episode, we talked to Charles Marcus with the Dickinson Music Enrichment Center. Thanks for coming back to the podcast. My special guest today is Mr. Charles Marcus, and we're in Dickinson, Texas today in front of the Holy Trinity Episcopal Church. And we're going to talk about some music classes and music program that Charles has set up just a few years ago. So Charles, let's kind of start off with the basics. Tell us about your organization.
We started a couple of years ago. We provide free after-school music lessons for underserved kids in Dickinson and surrounding communities in Galveston County.
Okay. And where did that idea come from? What spurred that idea?
Well, it was kind of two things that did. My son is in marching band over at Dickinson High School, and his junior year, his sophomore year, they wanted him to take some band lessons, some music lessons. And music lessons private are fairly expensive. I think it was $60 or $70 a week. And for folks like us, that's a bill, a couple of bills actually that they pay. So we had to kind of back off of that. And I don't have like the greatest job, but I have a fairly good job. And I'm thinking if I can't afford it, then there has to be a ton of other parents that can afford that are in the band. And also, there's a young lady that was in the band. She's clarinet section leader at Dickinson High School. And I used to see her out, it'd be hot out in the summer, and I see those guys out there, and she was just full of energy and joy and passion for what she was doing. You could tell she wanted to be out there. And in 2022, on Halloween, she was on Dickinson Avenue over here. Dickinson Avenue doesn't have any lights or sidewalks. Right. The infrastructure there is pretty bad. And the speed limit is 45. And it's really dark at night. So her and a friend of hers were coming back from a Halloween party, and she was killed by a hit-and-run driver. And me and my fiance wanted to do something to honor her, and what we decided was that we were going to offer free music lessons for kids that are in the same neighborhood as she, and they can't afford it.
Right.
And maybe those kids could get the same passion and drive and love for something that she had. And that's basically how we got started to honor her and honor her parents and have some kids to be able to do what she does.
Right. So how did you get the first class going? What was the first class like?
The first class was a little bit scary, especially when we started, because, like I said, we didn't have a building. I didn't know what I was going to do for instructors, because we started out trying to get professional musicians and professional music educators to be instructors, but they just didn't have the time to put in. And I understood that. And so me and my fiance came up with the idea to have high school section leaders, juniors and seniors, the upperclassmen, the more mature kids, to be coaches for the kids that we have, and our kids started in 4th grade. The ISD doesn't start till 6th grade, so we're giving them a huge head start. And we're not trying to be, full-blown music educating.
Right. This isn't an alternative to school. This is in addition to their classes.
In addition to what they would be able to get once they got into 6th grade and get under the tutelage of a true band director at the school.
Okay. And so where did your first class, where was it held? Was it here at the church or somewhere else?
Yeah, it was here at the church. Those folks, I sent them a pamphlet, letting them know what we wanted to do. And they, Councilman Schick had talked to them also that we were looking for a location. And they kind of got in touch with me and said, we have these brand new classrooms that just been renovated because of Harvey. And we do absolutely nothing with these classrooms. So they basically gave us the keys and said, here you go. I want you guys, what you're doing is really wonderful, and we want you to do it here at our location. And they don't charge us anything. Matter of fact, they got insulted when I mentioned pricing.
Really? That's rare.
That is rare. These folks have been absolutely wonderful to us over here,
Okay. And so how many did you have in that first class?
The first class, I think we had 15 kids in our first class.
That's good.
We lost, I think 4 or 5 before the year was up. And so our beginner one class ended with around 12 kids, and then those kids went to beginner two. Then we brought in another crop of kids, another 12 or 13,
right.
and beginner one again. And we last year at one point we had 35 kids.
Oh wow!
Which was way faster than what we anticipated, because
right.
we didn't have any intermediate kids that progressed into intermediate, but our coaches recruited some grade school kids,
right.
brought them in as intermediate students. So we had 35 kids, and of course our budget was shot.
Yeah.
But bringing those many kids
right.
in that fast. So, but now this year we should, as a natural progression, should have that 25 to 35 kids.
Okay. And so at what point in time was the nonprofit created? Did it exist before you started, or was it kind of test the waters, gauge the interest? Okay, we have interest, now let's form an organization.
No, we just dove in both feet. As soon as we decided we wanted to honor, her name was Ziona Jones, by the way, the young lady that was killed. When we decided we wanted to honor her, I just kind of went full force into it, because I have some nonprofit background from when I lived in Phoenix years ago. We ran a nonprofit there. Okay. And so I was able to transfer some of those skill sets and started here, even though it had been a long time. Right. And I had to get a little help from Councilman Simpson. I sat and talked with him for about a couple hours to pick his brain.
Okay.
To see what he thought about how to go about it. He gave me a lot of good input on how to go about it and how to get it done.
Okay. So if students don't have instruments, which I'm assuming that's not a prerequisite, if they don't have one but they're interested in learning music, do you help facilitate them getting an instrument?
Yeah, our mission is for parents to pay absolutely nothing. Okay. We provide all the instruments, we provide the music, then the church, gives us this location, so we have a location for them to come and learn. And if they stay with us for a year, like I say, we're not trying to take the place of music educators at the school. If they stay with us for a year and then move into 6th grade and join band in 6th grade, we buy them a new instrument, whatever instrument the music director at the school requires for them to have, which can be pricey.
Absolutely. I was in band. Yeah, I know all about that. That can really get expensive. So where do you get the instruments from? When you get to that point where someone needs a trumpet or whatever it is that they're going to play, do you have something worked out with a music instrument provider, or maybe they give you a deal, or how do you get the instruments?
For our when they start in beginner class here, before they get the brand new expensive instrument, we've had a couple of instrument donation drives. Okay. So, and there's a gentleman in League City. He does all our repairs on those instruments. He doesn't charge us anything. Okay. That's good. That's kind of how we start with those. Right. And anything beyond that, we do grants. I write grants, and we depend on the graciousness of Dickinson residents that donate to us. Okay. And so talk about some of those sponsors. You mentioned the residents. Do you have any corporate sponsors that help you guys out? We have a few of my favorite corporate sponsors. One right away is the Dickinson Management District. Okay. Our first 2 years, they provided us, without the Dickinson Management, I don't think we'd ever really got started. Oh, okay. They gave us a huge chunk of money to get going, and they matched that again the next year. And the population of Dickinson has changed, it's grown, so they can't provide us that type of money. It has different criteria now, but we're still going to try. They really want to help us, so we're going to try. Okay. Walmart, we've been able to get $5,000 grants from Walmart each year. Shellmark Engineering, a local engineer here in town. They're a consistent. They've signed on to be a consistent every year. They give us some money to get this and keep it going, along with Hometown Bank, and one of my really, really, truly favorites, and it really surprises me, is HEB. HEB, okay. HEB does. I mean, they love what we do, and this year they gave us And everybody said, oh, throw out these. They gave us $10,000.
Okay.
And then they came back, and we had an event here at the church, Native Heritage Month celebration. They paid and provided all the food for that day. Because the people that came, and when we do events like that, we don't, like, if you can pay, that was our deal. If you can pay for the food,
right,
pay what you can. If you can't pay, don't worry about it. Just come out, enjoy the festivities, and get some. Nobody knew what fried bread was in this part of the world, so they came out and they got to eat fried bread and watch some native folks groups dance, and got to our bands played. Right. And so HEB paid for all of that, basically. I mean, the facility, no charge. So the big cost was the food. HEB took care of that. And I never have to, I ask those guys on Monday, they'll contact me on a Wednesday and say, what can we do? So, if folks think that HEB, doesn't do or just do for huge organizations, they don't. There's a little small organization like ours, they go out of their way to help us.
Okay. And so talk about outlets that the students have here. When they learn to play for a little while, they can play a couple of songs. Are there performance opportunities for them?
Yeah, we've had performance opportunities here during the Strawberry Festival, and that's coming up again in April. And they want us out again to play again. And they've performed at City Hall during the Dickinson Management District meeting. We go in and we try to hit them up for more money. And
sure.
So we have our kids there, and they play.
Show what they're investing in.
Show where their money's going. Absolutely. And we try to. I try to provide performance opportunities for those kids throughout the year to practice their wares, as they say.
Okay. And so how often would the students meet up here and have classes? Is it a once a week or is it twice a week?
It is twice a week. Our beginners come on Mondays and Wednesdays, and they're stretched between 7 and 8 o'clock, beginning 1 and beginning 2. And our intermediates, which start this year officially, will be Tuesdays and Thursdays, the same time frame. We typically get here, the coaches get here at 5:30, and the kids show up around 6:15, and we're here till 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And Sundays, we have a couple of high school kids that get professional online coaching from professional musicians.
Okay.
And we pay for that for those kids as well.
All right. Well, that's good. Now, what instruments do you cover? If people are interested, what can they come and expect to learn to play?
Right now, due to space requirements, we only do marching band type instruments.
Okay.
And I say that, and we did that mostly to honor Zion. She's in the marching band, so we provide marching band instruments, clarinet, flute, saxophone, trombone, tuba, percussion, and flute. Okay. So, and right now that's what we offer, but we're in the process of working with a gentleman from A-Tune School of Music in League City. He has a music school which is for profit, but they offer guitar, violin, piano, voice, and full kit drums. He wants to be able to have his folks come over here with us and provide that service to our kids free of charge.
Okay. So I know this where you're at right now is a place that you can come during the week, but everyone that is doing any kind of program like this eventually wants to kind of have their own place. So talk about maybe future ideas for maybe incorporating your program to maybe another facility or maybe something that you can call your own.
The one thing we're looking at right now, and I don't know how many people know about this, but the Harbor Playhouse Theater that's been down and abandoned since 2020, and I say we, but I started doing some things to try to acquire that building or to work with the current owners in using that space as a location, as a final home-based location for us, and to also have Mrs. Nipper, who founded that location, to extend her legacy with theater and dance and some other stuff along with what we offer. And that building's been sitting abandoned, I say, since for about 5 years, and I just think it's a shame that it's sitting abandoned.
Right.
So we are trying to get a National Registry of Historic Places designation for that building.
Okay.
So we can actually keep it there while we do paperwork and contact people and see if we can't have ownership of it.
So Charles, if anyone is interested in joining the program, being that it's a nonprofit, are there parameters for admission? Are there income categories for you to qualify for this program?
We do have an income qualification for a single income family is $50,000 or less and you qualify. Mm-hmm. And if you have a 2-income family, it's $80,000 or less and you qualify.
Okay. So going back to the potential for Harbor Playhouse, do you have? I know right now you're kind of working through some preliminary research on the place, and I think you've sent some correspondence off to the people that still own it. Or talk about kind of where you're at with the process right now.
That's kind of where we're at. I sent a snail mail out to who I found to be the current owner through GCAD, and just kind of explaining to them what we have in mind about the location, and how we would really truly like to continue to honor Mrs. Nipper's legacy, along with adding our foundation or our organization as part of extending as part of what she used to do.
Okay.
And the only other thing I've done is, I submitted an application with the Texas Historical Committee to have that building listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. And I did that in an attempt to make it difficult for someone to purchase it, or for maybe the city might decide one day that they want to condemn the location. Right. It would be a little bit more difficult for them to do that.
Okay. So Charles, if anyone wants to sign up for the program, learn more about it, maybe become a sponsor of what you're doing, which I think is a very good thing, where would be the best place for them to find that information and contact you?
Contacting me would be the best way to do it is through my email, and that's charles.marcus@tdmec.org.
Okay.
And to get more information about our program or joining us in trying to revive Miss Nipper's location, you can go to our website at www.tdmec.org. And between now and next week, I should have a separate dedicated website for updates and for people to. What I really want to do is for people to go to this website, tell us their stories about the old Harbor Playhouse, pictures if they have any, and sign up for to help out in any way that they feel like that they can help out. Whether they want to volunteer, if we have a cleanup day, and I want to be able to provide that avenue for folks to just come and sign up and leave information, especially the stories and pictures.
Right.
I'd really like to see those.
Yeah. Well, very good. Well, Charles, I wish you all the best with your endeavor.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting our effort to share the news in print and on our extensive website, and now on our new YouTube channel. Contact publisher David Day at area code 409-943-4265 to support the Post newspaper today.